Hello, welcome to Prime Sports with me, Razak. And let's start off with the Black Stars and the head coach of the senior national team. Chris Eaton says he cannot guarantee that the Black Stars will get the desired results against Madagascar when the two teams face off on Sunday. The Black Stars are aware a win on Sunday guarantees qualification to the Cup of Nations to be staged in Ivory Coast early next year. However, Eaton, who oversaw the training session on Tuesday, says there's no assurance that Ghana will get all 3 points, but the team will be there to fight.
Regards getting a result in Madagascar, I can't promise anything. There isn't one coach that would sit here and promise that they would get a result in the next game. Not one. The only thing I can promise you is that we will have a team that will be determined to do that. We will have a coaching staff and a head coach that is determined to do that. We know the value. We know the value of a win against Madagascar. We know what that means. But we also know that we can't take them for granted. And as regards the small and easy games, there are none. Because every country is trying to improve what they have. Every country, when you look at the individual players, are now playing in better leagues. So that means the challenge is bigger. But let's say what we can promise is that we will have a team that will give everything to get the result that we want to get.
Now, members of the management committee led by Vice President Mark Addo visited the players at the training ground and charged the players to remain hopeful and confident in that game against Madagascar. According to him, although the qualification has delayed, the game on Sunday is a good opportunity to seal the country's spot in the next tournament to be hosted in Ivory Coast. And the country is looking forward to them to live up to expectation. Now let's stay on the 2023 AFCON qualifiers, and there was a game today between Gambia and Sudan, and it's Gambia who claimed a dramatic 3-2 win over South Sudan in their latest African Cup of Nations qualifier, as Hamza Barry raffled home a 97-minute winner at the Suez Canal Stadium on Wednesday afternoon. The victory saw Gambia jump into second place in Group G, while South Sudan remained bottom at the table. Away from the 23 AFCON qualifiers, the 2023 edition of Ashanti Fest Community Football Gala was launched today. The gala was launched as part of the broader MTN Ashanti Fest, a month-long series of sport, entertainment, and provision of community improvement projects. Now, the matches are expected to start on the 17th of June. Mr. Charles Osei Akoto, who is the acting general manager for sales and distribution for MTN, expressed optimism that the festival, in its 10th year now, will this time be bigger than ever.
Pleasure to see you again together here today. Indeed, Ashanti Fest has been with us for almost 10 years, and we meet to showcase what MTN has for the region Ashanti and the people of Ashanti. We are happy to announce that our cherished Ashanti Fest is back.
Now, all participating teams will take some 1,000 Ghana cedis each for preparation, and the winning prize for the ultimate winner will be 20,000 Ghana cedis. The team which comes second will get some 10,000 cedis, and the third will also get 5,000 cedis, and the fourth will take home 2,000 Ghana cedis as cash prize. Now let's talk about rugby now, and President of Rugby Africa, Herbert Mensah, has called on African government to make more resources available for the growth and development of rugby on the continent. Now, according to him, like football, the sport has the potential to improve the fortunes of the continent. He revealed that as part of his vision as president of the association is to change the world's mindset about African rugby and to rally them to believe in the sport like they do football. He has been speaking at the Bloomberg New Economy Gateway Africa Forum in Morocco. Welcome back. Now let's continue with the transfer update, and this time let's head to Germany for the latest from the Germany's domestic football league, the Bundesliga. And for that, we're joined by Chris Harrington, all the way in Berlin, Germany. Is with our partner station DWTV there. Chris, good to see you again. And of course, let's talk about Bayern Munich, because we understand that they've been accused of poaching talent from their closest competitors, and it seems that they've done it again. Tell us more about that.
Yes, indeed, they have. RB Leipzig's Konrad Laimer has become Bayern's first summer signing and first major arrival, especially considering their sporting director was fired back in May. Now, he's been stellar for RB Leipzig in the past, 15 goals, assisting 19. He's exactly a piece that Bayern would need to stimulate their midfield. Now, one reality is, in terms of Bayern poaching the talent, now you have to look at the standings of where RB Leipzig was. They were relatively close in the standings. And that's not the first team. The history is quite long. You can go back to Robert Lewandowski when he played for Borussia Dortmund, and also Mario Götze, Mats Hummels, Joshua Kimmich was an RB Leipzig guy. Serge Gnabry was poached from Hoffenheim. So, a lot of teams, when they look to be improving, in terms of their personnel, Bayern, call it smart business, call it what it is, but it has to be a mutual desire. The club wants the player, but the player ultimately wants to play at the best club in Germany, and that history has proven that to be Bayern. And recent reports even have Bayern potentially going after Rafael Guerrero. He's currently at Dortmund, and if that proves to be true, it just says that Bayern will continue poaching the talent as they see fit.
Well, Chris, now let's talk about...
Yeah, Naby Keita.
Let's talk about Naby Keita, of course, Naby Keita. But we understand he's now signed for Werder Bremen, and of course he's returned. He used to play for RB Leipzig, where he performed creditably well. He spent some time at Liverpool, didn't quite work out well. But what's your thought on Naby Keita returning to the Bundesliga?
Yeah, Naby Keita, he was quite electric. Jurgen Klopp described him as the complete midfielder when he was signed by Liverpool back in 2018. But injury was one thing. The physicality of the Premier League, I think, limited his playing time for Liverpool. And the club, was looking to offer him not many suitors, but Werder Bremen did come calling. And I think it's a good decision for him, because we can't forget when he was at RB Leipzig, he put up quite the numbers, and he looked to be the perfect midfielder. But one thing you always have to ask and wonder about players, do they return from injury too soon? This could have been the case with Keita, pushing himself beyond. Reports are that he had done everything to get himself healthy in terms of changing his diet, doing different regimens, and other things like this. Well, Liverpool say that he's lost a bit of pace, and he has an opportunity now with Werder Bremen. Quite the opportunity, because I do think that he will get a lot of minutes. He spoke about, him returning to the Bundesliga. He said he's looking forward to his new role at Bremen. He believes it to be a special club. He thinks that the philosophy at the club suits him, and it's the right move. And I think it does wonders, because you have to keep in mind it does give players an opportunity to get their confidence back. When you put up the numbers and you have those minutes and you can rebuild yourself, if you desire to test your talents elsewhere, you'll be in a position to do so. And Naby Keita, we know what he can do. We know what he's done in the Bundesliga. It's unfortunate to see his Liverpool career, not really live up to its potential. But Werder Bremen is delighted to have him.
Chris, thanks very much for your time, and of course we'll come back to you for more updates in the Bundesliga there. Well, that's all time will permit us for on Prime Sports, but coming up is PM Express, a big conversation on the Ghana Premier League with Ivan Spencer. You want to make a date, want to leave you with Sports Bite, and there is more on myjoyonline.com/.